Hey guys, Lee from Galaxy Reviews here with another video, back from a very extended break. So very excited to be back and recording videos again. Have a lot of fun things planned, but actually this is a great kickoff because this is actually my first collab. So I was able to partner with QRD to kind of unbox and review their Spark N5 wireless controller. So very excited to go ahead and give this a try, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So this controller is supposed to be compatible with PS4, PS3, PC, iOS, and Android. And even though it's not explicitly mentioned on here, it is compatible with the PS5. There's an adapter that you can use to kind of pair it up with the PS5, so we'll go ahead and give that a try, see how it works. Let's do a quick view of the box here. Not a lot going on, it's very simple, very straightforward. I have a few of the different icons here, right? Kind of mentioning that it's wireless, has a touchpad functionality, long battery life, ergonomic, and then multiple vibration functions. So we'll see how that works out. And then it also does have LED lighting. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and open this up. All right. So right off the bat, we have the adapter included within the box. This is the kind of a combo that they sell that includes both things. Otherwise, you can get the adapter on its own, or you can get the controller on its own as well if you don't need the adapter. If you plan on using it maybe like on PC, they only need the PS5 adapter. You don't need it. So pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and unbox the controller here. Packaging is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and actually it's very lightweight, much more lightweight than I expected. Let's go ahead and remove these little bumpers that they included for packaging. So here's a quick close-up of the controller. It's all black, so you can see it's a little dark here, but hopefully the light kind of shows all the details. It has a nice texture, very similar to an Xbox controller actually, so not bad at all. The sticks also feel pretty good. They feel a little bit on the looser side, but not bad at all. It's very reminiscent of, like I said, like an early Xbox controller, stuff like that. Analog sticks are very clicky, and then the buttons are pretty good. Let me see if hopefully the sound kind of comes through. Not sure if the microphone is picking that up, but it's actually pretty quiet. Not like super clicky, super loud. So if you're like pressing buttons, it should be pretty good. And then touchpad actually feels very good. It feels kind of soft. Not clicky at all. It kind of has like this very soft feel to it. It's very hard to describe. But other than that, let's see, towards the back, we actually have some paddles. So very nice to kind of have those included. It's kind of becoming the norm. Even like the new Nintendo Switch controller, the Switch 2 has those as well. So very nice to see those on there. And then we have the charging port up here, so nothing crazy, and then very similar to like the PS4 controller up top, and then of course is the touchpad, so we'll kind of see how that all works out. In the box, they also appear to include the charging cable, pretty standard, nothing crazy there, but they also include this phone holder, which is very nice. Let's see how that kind of fits in. Okay, so actually, let's see. So it seems to be very easy. So all we need to do is kind of align it with these holes back here, and then all you need to do is kind of align it and then slide it down. Yep, there you go. Took a little bit of practice, but got it in there. And then you can put your phone up here. So pretty cool. So that way you can kind of use it for, again, like your iOS or Android device of your choosing. You can definitely use it for that, for like remote play, especially if you have like Xbox Game Pass, stuff like that. This should work on there. I have a video where I kind of demo Xbox Game Pass with an Xbox controller, so this should work pretty similar to that, I assume. So all right, so let's go ahead and kind of remove that, and then we'll charge it up, make sure it's working, plug it into PC, and test some games out. Alright guys, bit of a time escape here. Went ahead and set everything up just to make sure everything was working correctly. I've gone ahead and paired it with my PS5 and a PC, so we should be ready to go. Before we get started though, and I showcase that and what the process looks like, I wanted to show what the colors look like on the controller, and they're nice and vibrant. It doesn't come through on the camera as well, but the colors are really nice and intense, which I really like. Really hope first-party controllers are including that in future iterations. As far as the controller goes, you can switch the colors simply by pressing the set button here in the back, so very nice and easy. And you can cycle between different fixed colors, kind of like what I'm showcasing right now. And then you get to a point where after you cycle R7, you start a cycling mode, where it switches between the different colors, and we'll just leave that at that. So one thing I do wish they'd include for future iterations, I'm not sure if maybe it's included in another controller, but it only has the ability to kind of pulsate like this. I hope that in the future they add the ability to switch between like static modes, or maybe modes where you can react to different button presses and stuff like that, or set different colors or something like that. May require like a PC app, but it would be cool if they do offer that, even if it does require plugging into like a PC or something. I don't know, just a thought. But other than that, I think it's a pretty cool basic feature. The only thing you can't switch is the colors up top. This is linked to the PS5 or PC. So PC, you may be able to kind of switch this around. PS5 is just automatically assigned. So pretty straightforward, similar to the DualShock 4 and DualShock 5, for example. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. There's a few things we need to keep in mind. I've seen on Amazon reviews, people saying that they get like an error message saying it doesn't work because it's a PS4 controller and they can't use it in a PS5 game. The reason for that is because there's some extra steps you need to take. It's not simply plug and play on PS5, unfortunately, but it's really nice and easy to set up, and I'll show that right now. Okay, so I have got my PS5 booted up here. What you need to do, and I'm using the controller, but for the first time you may just need to use your standard PS5 controller for this, just so it doesn't cause any issues. You can probably use it as a PS4 controller and it will work just fine, but for sake of this example, I'll just use this controller. So all you need to do is come over to the settings section, scroll all the way down to accessories, then go to controller general, and then switch this communication method option from use Bluetooth to use USB cable. And that'll allow the PS5 to default to using the dongle. So it doesn't try to connect via Bluetooth, which will default to a PS4 controller. Once you do that, there's extra steps you need to take. So with the controller fully off, you just need to press this Q button and the share button for about 3 to 5 seconds or so. What you'll see is this light bar up top will start flashing very quickly. That means you're good to go. It's in pairing mode. And then on the dongle, while connected to the PS5, you need to press that down for about 3 seconds. Press the button down for 3 seconds. It'll also go into pairing mode, and then in a matter of seconds, it'll pair up and it'll kind of look like this, which defaulted to this red color. And it's been working perfectly fine since then. And I've even tested it on a few PS5 games, and it's working as intended. That being said, let's go ahead and boot up a game here and kind of test how things work. So let's start by testing out Stellar Blade. All right, so I have Stellar Blade booted up here. Let's go ahead and test a few things out, right? So right off the bat, the analog sticks feel really great. I don't feel any sort of delay or input lag or anything like that. They feel nice and precise. The only thing though is they are a little bit on the looser side. I believe I mentioned that during the unboxing. So just keep that in mind, right? There's very little resistance. It may just feel a little bit off sometimes, depending on how quickly you like to move them. Some like that, some don't. So just something to be aware of. As far as the responsiveness of the buttons as well, in general, they're nice and punchy, right? They don't sound clicky or anything like that. They have a nice soft thump, so they're very nice, especially if you need to play maybe later at night or anything like that. It doesn't sound like it's going to be very loud or anything like that, like some other controllers, like the Xbox controller, for example, is much quieter than that. D-pad also feels nice and soft, so nothing to really criticize there. Also feels pretty nice and precise. We'll also test that out in a fighting game. But let's go ahead and test out some of the macro features, right? So one of the benefits of this controller is the ability to record macros. So if you want to do something really nice and easy and not have to repeat the movement over and over, you can do that with this controller. So let's start with the turbo function. So for the turbo function, we should just have to press this button right here, and then the button we wanna have the turbo function effect. So let's say we want to just have Eve here continuously use her light attack without having to continuously press the button, right? So like for like button mashers and stuff like that, like hack and slash games, this should come in handy, right? So let's give that a try. So turbo and then the square button. And boom, there we go, nice and easy. Now you just have to press the button down and Eve will continue to attack. Now let's say we don't want to have to even press the button, so we just have to press the turbo button one more time along with square, and now she will continuously attack without even having to do anything, and the controller starts flashing, so that way you know it's doing that. So pretty nice and easy, and then we just have to do it again one more time, and that turns it completely off. So now even though pressing the button down, she just attacks once, so back to normal. So pretty cool. I like that feature a lot. Now let's try out the macros. So I'm going to go out here into an open area, and for the macros, all we should have to do is press the set button and then with the paddle we want to program for 2 seconds, and we can do either just one single button press or we can do a whole string. So let's try a whole string. Let's see, so let's do the button plus the macro for about 2 seconds or so, and there we go, we're in that recording function. So now all we need to do is, let's say I want to walk forward, jump and attack. We do that and then we press the button down again one more time, and now we just have to press that same paddle, and now she should do the whole string. Yep, there we go. She does the whole string automatically. I don't have to do anything else whatsoever. So pretty cool, nice and easy. I actually like that a lot. That'll definitely come in handy with some games. And that's pretty much it as far as this for what you would use for this for in a single player game. Those are usually the big ones, so right, you can go crazy, whatever you like to do in any particular game, you can definitely do so without any issues. Let's go ahead now and test out a fighting game, because I do have some ideas I would like to test out with that in case you do want to use it for that type of game. Okay, so now we're in training mode. A few nice things we can test out here. So right at the bat we can kind of see the inputs there on the left side of the screen, so we can kind of test things out, and I'm not noticing any missed inputs at all. Nice and easy. I was able to do a spinning mixer here, do spike, and yeah, nice and responsive. Don't notice any issues. I'm just kind of pressing things just to test things out, make sure nothing is being dropped. So awesome. Now one thing to also notice is the triggers. The triggers are pressure sensitive, so they're not, you know, digital or anything like that, like the ones on the Switch Pro controller. So they're more reminiscent of the PS5 and Xbox controllers. That's pretty nice. No function to kind of shorten the travel distance that you can on an Xbox Elite controller, but still pretty nice, kind of like more like the default Xbox controller. Okay, so let's go ahead and try the programming feature with one of Rashid's attacks, right? So I've got it ready to go, ready to program. And then let's say I want to pre-record Rashid's spinning mixer. So we do the input, get that, and then we press the button again. We get the confirmation, and let's give it a try. You don't have to press anything, and he should do spinning mixer. There we go, nice and easy. Now the thing is, of course, this will change depending on which side of the screen you're facing, so keep that in mind. Using this for that, it'll switch it up on you. So just something to keep in mind. Now let's say I want to record maybe a short combo, hopefully one that doesn't get impacted as much by which side of the screen I'm facing. Maybe it's one that you just want to make sure you don't drop. So you pre-record it, right? So let's give that a try. So let's go ahead and press the button.
I don't have time to play.
Cool. Ready to go. And just to keep it nice and simple, I'll go ahead and kind of pre-record Rashid's short combo, right? So his target combo. So let's try that one more time, because I did input some additional buttons there, so I don't want to mess it up. So right, let's say I want to record that. So now all I should need to do is press the button, and he'll do that for me. That way I don't drop it, right? And you can definitely go crazy, or you can definitely record things that are much more complex than that. But it's definitely good to kind of know what you can do. So let's go crazy, right? Let's say I want to program something that's a little bit longer. Let's see how long this can potentially go for. So let's go back into the programming function. Oops, I just press those together. And there we go. So now let's say, just for the heck of it, I'm just gonna run, just gonna walk for quite some time. Seems like there's no issue there. Keeps recording, I don't see any issues. Let's press the button now, let's see what happens. So, right, he's running, he's walking. All right, that's almost 10 seconds or more. Yeah, over 10 seconds now of a recording. So you can definitely go pretty crazy with this. Not sure how long it can go. It's probably in the instruction manual, but you can definitely go for quite some time. So it's pretty cool. You can definitely go crazy with some of the recordings, right? You can potentially record a full-on, you pretty much can potentially record a full-on combo if you wish. So definitely encourage you to play around with it. It's really, really cool. Okay, so let's talk about the verdict. So I've had the chance to use the controller now for quite some time, off camera and during the recording. And I gotta say, it's an excellent controller. It's very nice quality. It's got great features, especially with the macro function and the turbo function. For the price, it's an excellent controller. It only retails for about a little over $40, so it's not bad at all. And the only other thing, of course, is if you are planning to use it for a PS5, make sure to get the bundle with the dongle so you don't miss out on that function. You can still use it as a PS4 controller, but you will have issues with some PS5 games. In addition to that, you can also use it with a whole bunch of different consoles and PC and mobile phones and stuff like that. So it's very versatile as well in that regard. So I definitely recommend it. For the price, you really can't go wrong. The bundle rates us for a little over $70, so it's not bad at all either. And you can always get the dongle later if you don't get the bundle initially. So also very flexible with regards to those different options. You don't need to get it right off the bat. So as far as giving it a score, I give it an 8 out of 10. For the price, you really can't go wrong. There's so many different options. Feels really great quality. For the price compared to like a first-party controller, it definitely gets the job done, and you also get some added bonus features. So really can't go wrong. Other than that, I really appreciate QRD for reaching out and having me test out this controller. It's been really fun. It's been a nice experience. So definitely recommend them. And also check out some of their other products too. You really can't go wrong. As for what's next for the channel, have some videos coming up here pretty soon that I'm looking to record once I get those products to come in. And I'm definitely happy to be back, and definitely happy to kick it off with this collaboration with QRD. Other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions about the controller, anything you guys would like to see in the channel, anything like that. I'll be happy to take that into consideration for next time and answer any questions. Other than that, take care. See you guys in the next video.